everyone, I'm Firefighter Colleen and this is Firefighter Ryan. Today we're going to show you a little bit about our newest truck. We call it Rescue 2. Let's start in the cab.
Well, it's a good thing we're inside because it's starting to sprinkle out. So inside of the rescue truck here, we typically staff this with 2 firefighters because this is used with our duty crew operations. So you'll have a driver that's in this seat, and then you'll have an officer that's in the passenger seat of the vehicle. Driver has many things that they can do when they're here. One of the main tasks that they'll have is when we're going on an emergency call, they'll be the one to turn on the emergency lights that are overhead. All right, so inside of a rescue truck, there's actually quite a few things that we get to talk about today. The first one that I'm going to talk through is our computer. So when a call comes in, it'll come across this screen and we'll get all of the notes, and also we'll get the address and directions to where the call is at. So when we get and leave for a call, the officer has all the notes in front of them, plus they also will give the directions to the driver as we go to the call. On the officer's side, there's also the main radio that we use to talk to dispatch, and we also have the 2 different sirens. So those are always in the truck, and those are stationary. Now, a few of the things that we have that are more portable in the truck is, the first one I'll talk through is the thermal imaging camera. So we use this in low visibility situations. What it does is it'll pick up heat sources and it'll show it on the screen right here. So if we're in a IDLH environment and we can't see because of smoke, this will help us find where the fire is, or potentially find a victim inside. This also will help us after a fire is over with to find if there's any hot spots remaining inside of walls or buildings where you can't see with the naked eye. The next thing that I'll talk about is the four-gas monitor. So this will detect any flammable gases. This will detect carbon monoxide. So we use this on CO calls to help us detect if CO is present in the building that we're in. Remember, CO is colorless and odorless, and you don't know it's there unless there's a detector sensing it. So when we get a CO call, or when we get a call for natural gas, we'll bring this out with us to be able to try to detect these things that we can't see with our naked eye. The next thing I'll talk about is we have 4 portable radios in here. Now, although we staff this with typically 2 firefighters, we have the capability of being able to respond with 4. So we'll have 4 radios in here. Now what these do is these are just like our bigger radio that's inside the cab, but when we go out on a call, we're actually able to bring these with us. So if we need to talk to dispatch, if we need to talk to each other on a call, we'll have these radios. All right, so now we're up in the back seat of the rescue truck. Notice a few things that we have back here. So we'll have our rubber gloves that we'll wear on medical calls as part of our PPE. This is where we also keep our N95 masks that we have to wear for COVID restrictions. Now looking back here, if you've ever seen the inside of a fire truck before, you notice some things may be missing, right? There's no gear in here, and there's no SCBA tanks. So that was intentionally done. And when we hop out of here, Colleen is going to talk about where they're stored on the truck, why we keep it there, and then a little bit about what the clean cab concept is.
Firefighter Ryan briefly touched on the clean cab concept, which means that our gear and our SCBAs are not stored in the cab with the firefighters, unlike in the rest of our trucks here. This truck was designed with the clean cab concept in mind, separating the firefighters from the contaminated and soiled SCBA and turnout gear. So they'll still put the gear on when they arrive at an incident, but they don't bring it in the cab with them where they're sitting around and breathing the air. Apple Valley Fire is our name, but fires are just a very small portion of what we do for the community. Most of the calls that we respond to, and what I mean call is if someone has a problem and they dial 911, 911 will contact the Apple Valley Fire Department and let them know that someone needs help. Most often, that's a medical emergency. You might have fallen and you can't get up. Maybe you broke a bone, or maybe you're having trouble breathing, or you've had a heart condition and need CPR. Our most common medical equipment is in this cabinet. We have a blue bag for traumas, a green bag with oxygen, the AED or automatic external defibrillator, and we also have the rescue pump, which allows us to perform chest compressions on someone whose heart is no longer beating. Although we teach the public how to do hands-only CPR, if someone's heart is not beating, chest compressions can be performed just using your hands, but this makes it more efficient. Some of the other equipment in the truck compartment, this is water rescue equipment and a Mustang suit. Remember, the fire department does have a boat, and we can do water or ice rescue should someone need help on the water here. In this cabinet, we store a shovel and some brooms. This is mostly used for car accidents. If someone wrecks their car and fluids come out, we have kitty litter to help dry it up. If there happens to be other things that need absorbing, we have pads for that, bags for trash, and a couple of fire extinguishers. Car fires are very common, but so any kind of small fire can be put out with a fire extinguisher. This is an ABC fire extinguisher, and this is a water can with foam inside of it. Here at the back end of the truck, you can see we have a ladder. The only reason that we need to go on the top of a truck is to add foam. Foam is added to water and makes water wetter and helps us to put out fires in a more efficient manner. The whole back end here is related to the pump, and we also have a ladder on top. So this is hydrant hose. If you see the fire truck that's hooked up to a fire hydrant, it's using this 4-inch supply line. Here's our hose and special nozzle for our ultra high pressure pump. This is the only truck in the fleet that has an ultra high pressure pump, and what that means is that the water comes out in droplets, and it's very efficient at putting out a fire. Puts out a lot less water, I'm talking tens of gallons, compared to what you'd see on one of our engines that puts out hundreds of gallons of water per minute.
All right, so in the back compartment here, at the very top, we have all our wheel chocks that we can help to stabilize vehicles. The shelf down here, we have an apartment pack, so it's another hose setup that we have for this if we were going into an apartment building. The bottom shelf, we have some of our cones and some more hose as well. What I really want to show you is this. So this is our rescue tool. It's battery powered. So if you've ever heard of the Jaws of Life, that's what this is. So it has a spreading function to it. And then also it has a cutting function that when you pinch it together, it'll cut something. So if we have to get somebody out of a vehicle and the doors don't open, we'll use this tool to help us cut the vehicle apart or pop a door open. So now in this compartment, we have our tarps that we use for salvage and overhaul, right? Fire is a very messy thing when you put water on it. So we'll use these to help try to protect anything that is salvageable. We also in this compartment keep our water and Gatorade. If it's hot in the summertime, we want to make sure that our firefighters are staying hydrated, so all of our trucks have bottled water and Gatorade on them. All right, and then the last compartment I'm going to show you here. Just like on the other side, we have 2 more air packs that are right here. And plus, if you remember when I talked about there's no gear inside of the cab, so there's spots for gear down here as well. And the very last thing I'm going to show you is actually pretty cool, is this is one of our ventilation fans. So if there's CO inside of the home, or if we find CO, or after a fire, if we want to clear the smoke out, we'll actually set one of these fans up outside and blow clean air inside of the home or business. So they work really well, and they're definitely a critical piece of equipment that we carry on our trucks. All right, and that's the tour of our new rescue truck.
We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. If you have any questions of the Apple Valley Fire Department, please call us at 952-953-2600. Look at our website at applevalleyfire.org.
And make sure to like us on Facebook. Be safe, everyone.